Celtic players' entourage already working on transfer exit. Casper connection could give Celtic edge in Mathias Kvistgaarden chase. Celtic told potential Arne Engels exit date. At Bundesliga club he wouldn't have looked at a place in. Player tipped to replace Kyogo at Celtic in January has now been released by Premier League club. Drop a like to keep this fire going and subscribe to stay locked on every twist in the Celtic saga. Danny Ings, the very same who was tipped as a potential replacement for Kyogo back in January, has now been released by West Ham United. That's right, the English Premier League outfit have let him go after a spell as fruitless as a Rangers trophy. Cabinet in Europe, now let's win back the tape. When our talisman Kyogo Furuhashi made his unexpected winter departure, names started flying left and right to fill the void up top, and one of them was Danny Ings. At the time, it didn't happen. West Ham weren't ready to let him go. And besides, Celtic's policy of avoiding players without resale value meant his age and profile didn't quite fit the model. But now, the man's a free agent, no transfer fee, no shackles, just an opportunity. Here's what you need to know. Danny Ings is 32 years old and has seen it all down south. 240 appearances in the English top flight, 72 goals, 24 assists. He's banged them in for Burnley, Southampton, Aston Villa, and even Liverpool. And he's worked under Brendan Rodgers before, back when both were wearing red, albeit briefly. Just 8 matches, but he managed 3 goals in that time, showing he knows how to move under Brendan's system. The critics will cry. He's past it. Let them. They said that about Joe Hart, didn't they? And look what that lion did between our sticks. The truth is, with Dazen Maeda's future still hanging in the balance after a blistering 33-goal campaign, we could be staring down the barrel of a striker crisis. Ings might not be a long-term bet, but he's the kind of short-term fire starter that could blaze through defenses and help us continue our domestic dominance. And here's the twist in the tale. If you're Brendan Rodgers, looking at your final year of contract at Parkhead, knowing that one more title would hammer another nail, in Sevco's delusions of grandeur, do you roll the dice on a proven Premier League predator like Ings? Now I've got a question for you, and I want your answer in the comments. Don't hold back. Should Celtic ditch the youth and resale model for once at bringing Danny Ings on a free to keep the title fire burning? Or is that a betrayal of everything we built in recent years? Let's be honest, would you take the experience and goals now or stick to the plan and risk watching Sevco sniff around our crown? You know what it is. Standing shoulder to shoulder at Parkhead, watching a young lad like Arne Engels grow before your very eyes. It's witnessing destiny take root in green and white. Just 21 years old, and already he's been crowned Celtic's Young Player of the Season. Not just a few flashy cameos, no, we're talking 10 goals, 13 assists, a midfield general's presence in over 50 appearances. He didn't just show up, he owned it, helped us lift the Premiership trophy again, and put them from Govan in their place back in December at Hampton. Now comes this Bundesliga expert, Derek Ray, saying what we already knew in our bones. That Engels is class. Said he wouldn't have looked out of place in Borussia Dortmund's yellow cauldron. Well, he doesn't look out of place leading the line at Paradise either. That's the difference. They could have had him, but he chose us. And now, Atalanta are sniffing about again. The Italian lot reckon they can prize him away with the money they'll pocket if they flog their Brazilian midfielder Ederson with rumors of over 50 million euros from the likes of Liverpool and the Manchester mob. That windfall's got them dreaming, and apparently Engels is their golden ticket. Well, dream on. We paid £11 million for him, the biggest fee in our club's history. And if they want him, they better start north of 20 million. Even then, hands off. He's not just a name on a spreadsheet. He's been tested in the fire, in the Champions League, in the cauldron of an old firm, in the bitter rain of a December night in Dundee, and he's answered every time. With Rodgers guiding him, with another preseason under his belt, next season could see him go stratospheric. His contract runs until 2028. We hold the cards, and more importantly, he belongs here. But here's the question for you, and I want you to answer it from the heart. If someone drops 30 million on the table for Arne Engels, do we take the cash and risk losing a future club legend? Or do we show Europe once and for all that Celtic are no selling club, we're the destination? Right? Let's delve into the saga of Luis Palma, the Honduran winger. Once hailed as a promising addition to Celtic's attacking lineup, finds himself at a crossroads. After a season that began with high hopes, Palma's journey took a detour when he was loaned to Olympiacos in January. Despite clinching the Greek Super League title with the club, his individual contributions were limited, featuring in only a handful of matches and scoring once. Now, as the summer transfer window looms, reports suggest that both Celtic and Palma's representatives are actively seeking a new destination. For the winger, while Palma is expected to return to Glasgow for pre-season, it's unlikely to be a long-term reunion. Palma himself has remained diplomatic about his future, stating, "I have a contract with Celtic. I can't talk about any other team. From the moment I have a contract, I have a chance of earning a spot, however, with interest from several Greek clubs, including AEK Athens, Panathinaikos, and PAOK. A move away from Parkhead seems imminent." Now, here's a question to ponder. Should Celtic persist with integrating Palma into the squad, hoping for a resurgence? Or is it time to cut losses and focus on players who align more closely with the club's current trajectory? Right, let's delve into the saga of Mathias Kvistgaarden. The Danish striker has been on Celtic's radar for over 2 years, and now, with Kyogo Furuhashi's departure to Rennes, the need for a prolific forward is more pressing than ever. Kvistgaarden's recent season with Brandby has been nothing short of remarkable, netting 23 goals and 38 appearances across all competitions. His performances have not only earned him a call-up to the Denmark national team, but also attracted interest from clubs across Europe, including Bundesliga side Eintracht Frankfurt. Celtic's previous attempts to secure Kvistgaarden's signature were hindered by Brøndby's valuation. Initially, a £9 million price tag was deemed steep, but now, with his stock rising, the fee has reportedly increased to £12 million. Despite the financial implications, the Hoops remain keen, especially with the potential advantage of having Kasper Schmeichel at the club, who could play a role in persuading his fellow Dane. Kvistgaarden's attributes align well with Brendan Rodgers' tactical approach. His agility, work rate, and finishing prowess make him a suitable candidate to lead the line at Parkhead. Moreover, his selfless nature on the pitch, exemplified by allowing a teammate to take a penalty despite being on a hat trick, showcases his team-first mentality. However, the question remains, should Celtic break their traditional transfer model to invest in a player like Kvistgaarden? Former Celtic midfielder Thomas Graveson believes so, suggesting that Kvistgaarden has the potential to emulate the legendary Henrik Larsson if he commits to the club long-term. So, here's the conundrum. Should Celtic make a significant financial commitment to secure Kvistgaarden, potentially redefining their transfer strategy? Or should they continue to seek value in the market, risking the chance of missing out on a proven talent? What do you think? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe so you never miss a beat from Celtic's wild ride, and do not forget to check out yesterday's video. It is absolutely explosive and you will want to see every second of it.